Hi, my name is Pat Parelli. I am a professional horseologist, and every horse has its own horsenality, and some of them have quite challenging horsenality. So I'd like to share some video footage with you of one of the most challenging horses I ever had, and his name was Casper. And Casper was a quarter horse stallion that was at one of my clinics in Olds, Alberta, Canada. And I just remember that the person that had that horse, I went back to lunch and I said, "Did you see that horse? The black one?" And it was like, "Oh yeah." I said, "That is like one of the most gorgeous horses I've ever seen." And I did a demonstration with the lady. Said he bucks quite a bit, and so I said, "Okay." So after the clinic, I said, "Why don't we play with him? And everybody who wants to stay can stay." So I saddled him up, played with him on the ground, and he was, they called him Casper because he was the friendly ghost. He was really friendly on some things, but really spooky about other things. So anyway, so I played with him and I saddled him up, and I had just been in Banff on a week-long pack trip, and I had a little metal cup made out of brass on the side. We call them Sierra cups, so you can drink out of the stream. Had it on the side of the saddle, and I remember saddling him up. I had a 22-foot rope on him and saddled him up, and then he moved a little bit, and that cup made a little dingle dingle, and I mean, he blew in half. And when he did, he took off bucking, and I thought I could hold him. I went like that now to hold on to him, and he hit the line so hard, he pulled me off my feet, and I landed on my stomach about 5 feet in that direction. And he bucked for about 40 minutes, bucked and bucked and bucked and bucked with that saddle on. I ended up riding him that day, and he just felt like, I just remember saying, I felt like he could canter on ice. He could have cantered a 10-meter circle on ice. He had all these qualities, but at the same time, he had this fear. I found out many years later from the original owner, the breeder, that when he was a yearling, he got attacked by a grizzly bear, and he jumped over a 5.5-foot fence to get away. He had still always had a scar on his left hind leg where evidently the bear got a hold of him. So he had a lot of history. And again, every horse has his own horsenality based on innate characteristics, environmental influences, learned behavior, and spirit. Casper was a highly spirited horse. And his one unique thing that always made it a little challenging is he wasn't, besides the bucking thing, he bucked almost every day, by the way, when you'd saddle him just a little bit. It just was really strong innate in him. But he really didn't have a strong connection to humans or horses. You can see here sometimes he'll be going around and there's horses out, mares out in the pasture there, and he wasn't paying them, like particularly trying to go to them or anything. He had a kind of an interesting set of dynamics that always made it challenging. But what I was able to do with him in demonstrations around the world, me being able to ride Magic, a mare, and him a full-blooded stallion, had several colts, so he knew what he was doing. And for the two of them to just be Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire was something just super special. So this is back in the old days. When I first got him, and some of the things starting to build a relationship with him. So hope you enjoy this. Hope it inspires you to want to become the horseman your horse needs you to be.